Welcome to Tidbit Talkin. This is a series that consists of spewing out assorted thoughts which arose from somebody who thinks too much, taking in, and generally loving various entertainment media by the boatload. These tidbits may be mini theories, observations, or simply jokes. Hopefully people will find them entertaining or at least interesting. And who knows, maybe they'll lead to others looking at what amuses them in different ways than before. Also, bear in mind that everything blabbed about in these videos comes from the perspective of somebody who's experienced every main story bit connected with whatever works currently being gone over, so spoilers are a definite. However, other works set in a shared continuity will typically solely be referenced in a way that only makes sense to anybody who's also experienced those ones fully up until their same time occurring points. Sort of a coded nod kind of deal. So, while things will be more fun for viewers who've indulged with an entire universe's works, nobody who has yet to do so will get non-experienced events spoiled. Now, with all of that out of the way, here we go. The player's role as an almighty slingshot-wielding guardian is likely a representation of some kinda in-universe bodyguard gig. As for why personal security would only be armed with a single stone-spec shooter, that's because this particular paid protective post is for preventing the charge from inflicting self-harm, since other beings typically aren't capable of dishing out any damage. On that note, the reason why the periodically plucky, pellet-packing protagonist possesses purely personally provided pain production proneness is because he's had incredible healing abilities his entire life and thus never developed caution-related habits due to them technically being unnecessary. However, even though Pac-Man can survive practically anything, time is still a limited resource for him. Thus, he hired some not-so-quickly resolved outcome-generating accident prevention-focused muscle in order to stop all-day consuming events, like removing 440 bee stingers or whatever, from occurring regularly. This whole deal is just a training video sent to people pursuing perpetual pack-protecting profession participation. Its existence is the reason mailbox firing upsets Mr. Mighty Mouth so much, since he assumes that any employees performing such actions are mocking him over not providing in-person orientations. Pac might merely desire that pinwheel for awkward place scratching action. On the map, that urban area is labeled Metropolis, while in-game folks refer to it as Pac City. This can, of course, only mean one thing. At least the New Adventures iteration of Pac-Man's universe is an alternate counterpart to DC's main reality, one where Kryptonians possess even more bizarre physiology than usual. That is, instead of gaining every power under the sun from absorbing Yellow Star originating energy, they merely obtain said super self-stitching and an obscenely effective digestive system, at least under non-power pellet having circumstances. Anyway, in this dot-devouring denizen decorated dimension, a certain urban area was renamed after the champion who saved it from ghosts and whatnot countless times. But that humble, hotly hued hero doesn't believe such tributes are ever necessary. Hence, his head-held location layout exclusively exhibiting the old school moniker. Power pellets could potentially be Pac Krypton originating plant thingamajigs that somehow possess the same structure-sown superb solar-sucking skill as their bipedal planet mates, but without any sort of release mechanisms, essentially making them alien-amplifying awesomeness-filled mega vitamins. Thus, consuming one increases immensely impressive innards implementing individuals' insights intensity so much that they become capable of digesting the actual laws on which their reality relies upon. The mustachioed mellow yellow person Pac possesses pictures of could very well be his farm-owning grandfather. A young, sunny-shaded speck-savoring soul likely spent much time with his hairy-lipped guardian-enjoying relative, where he, of course, learned how to perform such wonderful rural lifestyle integral activities such as cow milking. Pac-Man might get a kick out of Lucy's couch because he doesn't have one of his own. The various extra Pac game pieces might be arcade cabinet replacement parts that were both shipped separately and improperly in a wrong address arriving sort of way. This giant apple was probably grown as some kind of experiment that was meant to develop food capable of more easily satiating Pac people's amazingly ample appetites. Whatever tree it originated from likely didn't enjoy an expansive lifespan because the weight of all those freakish fruits made a falling down situation occur not so long after too much deliciousness growing took place. Those dairy direction delivering displays probably exist because the local store is closed and milk can currently only be obtained from that farm near the Pac Family home. Fun hair color possessing, door slamming guy is probably just somebody who doesn't want to deal with a world where ghosts freely run amok non-stop because he doesn't like getting reminded that his afterlife might not be so glamorous. Deputy Door Damage Delivery would have built his sizable shelter shield because he knows that the aforementioned apparitions don't usually go through walls, and he really cares about his yard. The in-universe versions of Pac Family starring video games are probably licensed out interpretations of their personal experiences that were greenlit so everybody portrayed could enjoy a nice, royalty-filled life. Those recently mentioned famous family featuring flashy fables exhibit events which consist of poltergeists attempting a mortal eradicating mission that involves utilizing starvation tactics. The various Pac protagonists' participation in these events would have been as self-appointed grocery goodness guardians, with all adults involved being present because of work, while any younger ones were there simply for shopping. Anyway, the food fatality forging phantoms apparently can pass through solid objects, as demonstrated by them escaping that little back freezer representing jail deal. They probably just don't do it all the time because such actions feel really uncomfortable, hence why that one guy's fence is an effective dead deviant deterrent. The ghosts can be ripped apart by traps and whatnot because that earlier mentioned bit with Pac's supplement installed physics-defined stomach capabilities would have long-lasting effects, just like most other comic book-held reality shift deals. Practically powerless puny pellets are likely just what remains of the food those supply-sabotaging specters wrecked. The previously discussed sunlight stockpiling sort of citruses would of course be powerful enough to withstand any smashing attempts, much like regular Kryptonians. Any not intended for human consumption maize-contained products would be junk the ghosts wish to steal as souvenirs. Gluttonous goody two-shoes simply eat the stuff to spite their ethereal enemies. Power pellet durations in these meal market mazes decline over time because the new locations Pac patrollers are being sent to are filled with food that is constantly spoiling. Even folks with hyper-accelerated metabolisms can experience food poisoning. Even these ruined rations must be completely consumed during the hero's ghost-busting world tour, though, because power pellets cause problems when they're a stomach's exclusive contents. Just like pudding, arcade games cannot be quit via in-game menu utilization because Pac-Man is so into reliving his glory days that only a game over screen can drag him out of the high score-seeking zone. Prolonged play period provided power pellets probably pop up because the arcade owners wish to shoo Mr. Nostalgia Sphere away with bribery so other folks can have a chance at experiencing their digital delights. Bees know that ghosts are a sour spot for this world's populace because the mischievous spooks' cuisine-crushing quest even involved attacking more natural provision banks like honey-holding hives. Related, that small shop shuddering probably came about because those yellow lifeform loathing undead wacky folks still partake in force-filled food faultiness fetching on occasion. That witch might have employed the ghosts because she needs them as research specimens in order to figure out how immortality can be achieved. Whatever is in these tubes might be part of said spirit scan sporting scientific scheme stuff, something along the lines of new bodies for afterlife escapees. These fruits that look not so healthy and produce appearance-matching effects are probably poisoned power pellet plant products, which couldn't grow so normally because their sources were rooted in soil that housed kryptonite or something. something. Pac-Man apparently grips ropes so tightly that sliding down them destroys his gloves, hence him forcing his slingshot-wielding protection to carry an enormous spare supply at all times. Sir Spotty Snack's stuffed stomachs sulking upon delivering flower-focused birthday boons might be because nobody left him any cake. Food may bounce around in Ms. Pac-Man levels because the owners of these shopping centers thought gravity-based security tech could potentially stop Spirit Soldier strikes. Nothing else bounces around because the machines are simply very precise. That poster-contained hot dog likely became real because a certain witch performs trivial normalcy-defying feats on occasion in order to keep her sorcery skills sharp. Nubile Nibbler not experiencing that weird self-collapse deal upon getting too close for comfort with otherworldly beings could be because her fancy ribbon is enchanted with some kind of pain reduction generating magic hoopla. Only 3 ghosts show up to perform a pack attack at once in most situations because the 4th is always sitting back and observing so an accurate report can be provided for their cloak-adoring supervisor. A chewing gum-based monster, something that's not so easy to swallow and digest, would of course be an incredibly effective weapon against hyper-stomach-relying super beings. Endings are a pain, but all of you are fantastic. See ya.